everyone. So our topic for today is about the Paleozoic era, or the age of marine life that exists during 550 million years ago. So this era began with the breakup of a one supercontinent, also called as the Pangaea, and plants becomes widespread, and also the existence of the first vertebrate animals. So periods of Paleozoic era. So we have the Cambrian, ordovician, Silurian, Devonian, Carboniferous, which is divided into sub-periods, the Pennsylvanian and the Mississippian, and the last one is the Permian, which is the end of the Paleozoic era. So first one is Cambrian period. It exists during 541 to 485 million years ago, and it is the explosion of life on seas. So life flourished in the ocean or in the sea. So una na nag-occur yung life is sa loob ng dagat or inside the ocean or sa dagat. So we have an examples and anthropods. These are the ancestors of insects and crustaceans. And we have also the chordates. So they are like fish or kahugis sila yung isda, but these animals have rudimentary spinal cords. And during this period, there were no life on land. So wala pang buhay na nag-i-exist sa lupa. So ang una na nagkaroon ng buhay is yung dagat. Second one is the ordovician period. So it occurs during, or the time span is during 485 to 444 million years ago. So it is very rich in terms of marine life, or rich in terms of variety of a marine life. So it is also the first occurrence of plants, splitting of continents, and climate there, or ang klima noon is very warm and wet. And also during this time, sea level rises to 1,970 feet. So in terms of the animals or life in the oceans, we have the squid-like nautiloids. As you can see in the picture, that is an example of a type or a squid-like, or they are also known as the predators because they eat most of the maliliit na mga life forms during that time, and also they are look like a mollusks. And another ones are the conodonts. So conodonts are vertebrates and eel-like structure or creature with large eyes. So visible naman no nga dagko gid silag mata ang mga conodonts. So the third period is the Silurian. So Silurian periods, continents began to merge together. So this is where ang kontinente daw is collide again, kumbaga. So animals able to swim. So yung mga animals daw inas natuto ng lumangoy and feed closer to the surface. So and also they adapt daw sa land surface. Different jawless fish and first finned fish with rays were prevalent. So during that time, ang dami ng mga isda na ang tataas ng mga sungon nila. And this is also the first appearance of the jawed fish and also the first. So this is an example or a type of a first jawed fish and the first real soil. They said that this is the first appearance, or this is the first soil because of the building up of the microorganisms or humus, but still it is lack in terms of life. So lichen, according to the study, that this is the first photosynthetic organism. So oxygen during this time is available na siya, but not that much in our atmosphere. So sabi nila, it could compare daw to the modern level of it. But during that time, hindi po masyadong na-enjoy because there is lack or still lacking of organisms or life during this period. So most of the organism are single cell bacteria was diverse during, or the diversity was, or the beginning of the cell or single cell bacteria. And the climate during this time is generally stable and also warm. So as you can see, there is a change. So, diba? Sa ordovician, the climate was warm and wet, but during the Silurian, the climate was warm and stable. So nakikita talaga natin yung pagbabago ng different periods. And next is we have the Devonian. So Devonian, or the age of fish. So we are familiar naman, di ba, with the different types of fish na ngayon nga is kinakain na natin, at iba naman ay ating inaalagaan. So ngayong panahon ng COVID-19, ito na naman yung panahon kasi tapos sa yung pagka natin ng mga kaang, mga plants. Ito naman yung panahon ng pag-aalaga ng different kind of fishes. So the continents of the North America and Europe collided. So this is what we call the Euro-America. So aside from the collision of continents, we have also plants cover the land. So most of the area during the Devonian is kina-cover na siya ng existence ng mga tanim. So climate was warm temperature that made life on land. So because of the climate that is warm temperature, so ito yung tumulong, or ito yung naging daan upang magkaroon ng buhay sa lupa. So seed are the most important development during this periods. So the land plants, we have the mosses, the ferns, and the seeded. So this is the period wherein it is the first appearance of first seed plants, trees, and also the land vertebrates. Aside sa it is the age of fish. So insects and other animals. So it is also the appearances, or ito na yung kumbaga, rapid of the napagbuo ng different types of organisms like insects. So first, wingless insects like spiders. So ito yung una nilang paglabas, and thousands of fishes are developed. So ang dami na palang nag-uukur ng organism during the Devonian period. So the first fish, so as you can see, it is jawless. So support structure was made of cartilage. So in order for this fish, to move, it is, or in order for this ostracoderms to stay alive, so it is covered with cartilage. And ostracoderms are a shell skin. Outside skin was protected by scale and plates made with bony tissues. So yun yung structure ng isang ostracoderms. So the end of the Devonian is hurt water habitats more than those on the land. So mas naapektuhan yung mga animals or yung mga organism or mga species na nakatira sa tubig kaysa sa lupa. Sponge and corals are most affected. So sila talaga yung naapektuhan sa end ng Devonian period. And no reef building, or wala na nagkaroon pa, o hindi na ulit pa nagkaroon ng building of coral reefs for 1,000 years. So parang huminto yung pag-occur ng coral reefs. So after the Devonian, we have the Mississippian period, which is, or we have the Carboniferous period, which is divided into two sub-period, the Mississippian and Pennsylvanian. So Carboniferous period came from the large amount of carbon-bearing coal. So this is where nag-start yung deposits ng coal na today is nagagamit na natin as our fossils. It is also the collisions of land that results to mountains and large masses collided or occurring or nagasplit like the Euramerica and the Gondwana land. So Mississippian epoch or Mississippian subperiod is warm and shallow sea. So it is very warm and shallow. Animals contribute their shells to the formation of limestone. So during this time, many animals though helps to the formation of limestones that we have today. So this type of animals or these types of organisms belong to phyla Lopoporata, which are the bryozoan and the brachiopods. And also we have the crinoids. So these are the organisms that occur during the Mississippian subperiod. And the subperiod is the Pennsylvanian period or the age of oxygen. So land was rising out of the water. So this is where nagbigan o tubo kumbaga or nag-occur yung lupa from the water or from the rivers, oceans. It is also the thickening of crust. So this is where the lithosphere started to become thick and stable. Animals and plants adapt to the changing habitat. So in order for organisms or fishes to survive, they need talaga to adopt the environment that they have. So we have also new plants develop and also large trees covered with bark. So ang daming kumbaga nag-occur na nabuo during the Carboniferous period. Aside from trees, it also the grow of ferns in the middle of the swamps. And also some plants give off oxygen. So this is the time where organism could survive. And aside from plants and large trees, we have also reptiles or amphibians and reptiles. Like we have the tetrapods. So tetrapods evolve and move out to the land. So in order na sila kumbaga nag-start nilang curiosity. They find nigawas na sila sa tubig in order to kumbaga ma-explore pa nila ang land. And we have the amphibians, also they move onto land. The reptiles develop slithry skin as they move to the land. So in order for them to adapt and adjust, so marami ding nagbago sa kanilang katawan like the reptiles. So yung slithry skin nila is occur lang siya because they need to adopt what is kung unsa ang present. So we have also insects, the Meganiora and the Anthropophora. So Meganiora is a large dragonfly. So this is the largest in the ancestors of a dragonfly. Large, grow well in the humid and it is or in a high oxygen condition. So ang iyang pakpak ani is grow up to 60 to 75 centimeters. So imagine no, taas dako siya na type na dragonfly. And we'll have also the Anthropophora. It is a giant millipede that grow more than 1.5 meter long. So this type of millipedes has 30 pairs of legs. So di ma-imagine, no? So before human exists, there are some talaga monsters during this period or epoch or eons or era. So makita dyan natin na it is very good nindot kayo ang timeline sa pagka-create sa Earth because wala dyan gipagsabay ang different kinds of organisms or species. So the end of Carboniferous marked by global climate change due to glaciers that cover the South Pole. So ito daw yung isa sa dahilan why Carboniferous end because of the glaciers. And because of that, marine environment was the most affected. So sila talaga yung naapektuhan, mostly invertebrates na nagtira sa ocean or seas, like corals, trilobites, and some crinoids. So, yung sa last natin na PowerPoint, nakita nyo doon kung what are the, kung ano yung itsura ng mga trilobites, crinoids, and corals. And the last period is the Permian period. It is the last period of Paleozoic era, or the greatest extinction ever. So, Permian period, it is the great change of the earth, or the end of an era. Climates, continents, and living things were all changing dramatically. So, very fast. So, you can catch up, kumbaga, sa kapaspas at change during the Permian period. It is also called as the Great Dying, because some or most of the species during the Paleozoic era become extinct or gone. So, kaya tinawag nila ito na greatest extinction ever. So, it occurs during 299 to 252 million years ago. So, during this time, Pangaea is complete and the conditions become dry on the times of Pangaea. So, we are very familiar, di ba, with Pangaea? It is the supercontinent. So, during this time, Pangaea is already complete. And the Permian period is covered by the ocean Pantalasa. So during the, even though the Pantalasa has the large percentage or pinakataas na percentage during this building up of the earth, still organism survives. So plants adapt to dry climates. So most of the plants that grow during these times are the gymnosperm. So gymnosperm, we have a gymnosperm is a type of plants that had seeds. So example of this is the conifers. So di ba conifers are fossils or trees with seed cones. So as you can see the picture, yan yung picture ng conifers. Aside from conifers, you have also ginkgo. Earliest plants that still exist. So today, di ba, ginagamit na sa mga different herbal ang ginkgo. So yung akala natin na ang bunga is parang lansones, but ang kanyang dahon is parang heart. So that is a ginkgo. And the Glossopteris, these Glossopteris are the fossils of the Glossopteris. It is the one who helped the paleontologists and geologists to prove, or during the time of Wegener, to prove that the plate tectonics was once buo kumbaga or together. Kasi some of the Glossopteris found in the South America, Australia, Africa, and Antarctica. Back to our topic last prelim. So this is where ito yung fossils na sinabi talaga ni Wegener that the plates has connection. Nagkaroon sila ng connection noong panahon. So dry climates favors the reptiles. So some of the reptiles that occurred during the time are the Dimetrodon and Peleosaurs. So whose body could live in a very dry air and wide changes in temperature. So if you don't have body structures that cannot adapt in a very dry environment, then you cannot survive this type of climate because it's very dry. So Peleosaurus is a reptiles but a head like mammal. A Dimetrodon is a very famous. So its body or yung katawan niya is nag-help sa kanya to have a stable temperature. So also during this time of the Permian, so di ba may period na nag-stop ang building of coral reef, but coral reef began to produce again. So this is the last kumbaga changes during the Permian period. So every period ends. Kasi hindi nag-end yung period, hindi mag-occur din yung Mesozoic and the Cenozoic era. So the end of Permian, coral reefs were not the only species to become extinct, even though the coral grow again, produce again, but at the end of the day, they die again. So 90 to 95 species severely harmed in the ocean. So imagine, no, after the end of the Paleozoic era, 5% lang ang nakasurvive sa ocean. And less severe, but species died out completely. So sa lupa naman, hindi sila masyadong naapektuhan, but some na organism, once na apektuhan sila sa time ng extinction, nawala talaga sila completely. Kumbaga, hindi na sila nagkaroon pa ng another occurrence, walang natira, walang nakasurvive sa mga organisms or species na nakasurvive sa lupa. So, that's end for today. Good day and God bless.